Hello everyone, this is Hugo from Ichiban Painting, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to paint golds with normal metallic paints. So it's not a non-metallic tutorial. So let's get started. I know my tutorial is sometimes a little bit long, but I like to go thoroughly into explaining everything about a technique and how to do it, and so that you guys don't have a question and you can understand everything, quite well. So bear with me. The first thing you're going to be needing is some kind of brown. Right now I have Beastie Brown on the surface, but you're gonna need some kind of brown, so you can use Leather Brown or Beastie Brown or any kind of brown that's not too dark, a little bit light. Then we're gonna be using three golds, actually three metallic paint. We're gonna be using Bright Bronze, Glorious Gold, and Polished Gold. These are gonna be the three colors that I'm gonna be using for that. And after that, if we still have time, I'm going to be showing you how to do it with liquid gold from Vallejo, which is, I've used this stuff before and I finally found some back at a shop, so I bought some because I didn't have any more, and so I'll be using that, and also use a wash. So first thing, you want to layer your first layer want to be brown. You can use black, as long as the color is dark for a background is good. I like to use brown because it's already in the tones of gold. So the first thing you want to do is take the Bright Bronze and dilute it to a point where it's pretty liquid, and you want to apply it to the surface where you're going to be making your gold. So this is going to be actually your first metallic layer. So what you want to do is you go in and you apply your bronze in. So that's the first thing you need to do. You don't need to worry about if it's covering or not. There's no worry about that. That's the first part. Okay, then once your bronze is applied and it had dried up, you want to go in with your Glorious Gold, which is a little bit older looking gold, and then you want to apply it and in a light coat. So you want some of the bronze to stick out, so you don't want to cover all the area. You still want to have some bronze sticking out from there. So it's gonna give a really nice and real feeling to it, instead of just painting some straight up gold right on the surface. So you want to have some bronze showing through. So that's that part right now. So then once that is done, you either have two choices, depending. Here I'm working with a flat surface, so it's not really necessary. But if you're working with a surface like a shoulder pad or anything like that, applying a wash will go into the recesses, and it's gonna be, it's gonna give a good depth to the miniature. You would apply the wash right after the Glorious Gold. Once the wash is finished drying up, what you want to do is actually you want to go back with some Glorious Gold, but just like tap it in, not in the recessed area. So like for example, there's the recess here. You want to just tap it on the outside edge here. Put some Glorious Gold here just to make it pop, because the wash is going to dull down the metallic on it. And then your last part, normally once you finish painting the silver, finish painting the Glorious Gold, you put the wash and you re-went in your area with your Glorious Gold. Then you want to go in with your Polished Gold and do some highlighting. So today, like I said, I don't have a miniature because I like to showcase these tutorial on this plate because it makes it easier and to film and everything. So basically, let's take for example that this is the top of my miniature. Then I will want to go in with my Glorious Gold or my Polished Gold, sorry, and I want to go in here in this area So you're gonna have a transition. So it's basic painting when you're gonna have your highlights are gonna be made with this polished gold. A thing that you can do when you you paint your golds is that actually you can do some highlighting with some silver. I personally don't like it. I personally don't use it that much because I like to do old gold feeling to it. So I don't use that technique, but it's up to you and you can go in and do it. So this is for normal golds and normal paint techniques. Now I want to show, because that's what I want to really talk about. I want to talk about the Vallejo Liquid Gold series. These are extremely good paint and they make an extremely good job. They're a little bit more difficult to work with, being that they are not acrylic paint. They are toxic, flammable. So you need a couple of things to work with these. First of all is you need a brush that is a synthetic brush. You can't work on that with a normal stable hair. So if you're working with some you know, like Winsor and Newton brushes that have real hair on it, it's gonna scrap your brush. So don't do it. Use a synthetic brush. So it's the first thing you need, and then after that you need some paintbrush cleaner or airbrush cleaner. But this is basically, you can wash it with alcohol. So as long as you have an alcohol based cleaner, you're going to be able to clean your brush. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that these are heavy pigmented. I don't know if you can see it but really well, but these have a ton of pigments in it. So you really need to shake them really well. And actually, if you leave the pot sitting, you're gonna have to actually take something and go in and stir it really hard, and then after that shake it a lot. I mean, these you need to shake them extremely well to be able to have a good result. So here I have gold, old gold, and I actually have gold, normal gold. So I would suggest not doing this like I'm going to be doing now, but I put them in painting cups normally. But now I'm going to be going straight off the pot. So same kind of principle. You go in and you start in with your old gold. Same thing, but you're gonna see, you're gonna notice the effect. The results are so much better with this the liquid gold series. And bear in mind that, you know, I'm painting on a flat surface and a white surface, so it's gonna leave brush marks. Normally when you're working on a smaller area, you won't have that, but you can see it right away in the way the paint is, the pigments, the way they are, the way they look. They are way more nicer than a normal non-toxic paint, our normal acrylic paint. It's really different. There's a big difference into the look and the feel of the gold. Also, the pigments are pretty small on these spots, so they don't leave as many as bumps. If you notice, I don't know if you can notice here, but there is some bumps here. There's some brush marks, of course, and there's a little bit bump and irregularity in the paint. This is due to the normal acrylic paint that has to have big pigments in it to make it metallic paint, compared to the Vallejo Liquid Gold, which is really liquid. Those are thinned out, so they have a huge amount, like I just said, a huge amount of pigments in them, but they do a really fine job because the pigments are really fine in these paints. So you really need to be careful when you're painting those, because they're gonna tend to go in the recesses pretty quickly. But once they dried up, you can use a wash on top of it. There's no problem with it. So basically the same thing as I did before. I used my old gold to start. Then I'm gonna go in with my my gold, and I would do the same thing. I would go in and highlight the areas where I want to highlight with my normal gold paint, which is the normal gold. But I really hope that on the camera you can see it well, but these paint makes stunning results. I mean, they do a super fine job of first of all, they cover really well, and they do a really nice job. So here you have it into it. To have here, since it's a flat surface, normally I would have to do a transition in between both, because now you can see the demarcation line here, but normally if you're using it as an highlight, you won't have to worry about a transition like that. but it's a really fine product that Vallejo has, which is the liquid series, and they have such a wide range of tones. They have old golds, they have gold, they have green gold, white gold, pink gold. I think they do have silver also in the liquid gold series. So little tutorial on how to make that and how to use them. Be sure to make sure that you have brush cleaner, that you have an acrylic, not an acrylic, but a synthetic brush when you're using these, if you can buy them and start using them. And if you're using the normal technique, be sure to remember, put a nice base coat underneath and then just work your way out into the color, and that's it. You're gonna have stunning looking gold without having to use non-metallic metal techniques. So I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you on the other video. Thank you for watching.